Jonathan Hurd is the brilliant mind behind the legendary Atari arcade game Food Fight. Here's a clip of when we interviewed him on the Arcade Radio podcast and asked how he went from regular human to the legend responsible for one of the most chaotic pie-throwing masterpieces in arcade history. Grab a digital ice cream cone and let's hear how it all began.
I've always lived in the Boston area, worked, gone to school within 20 miles of Boston, and I went to MIT undergrad. Took a job writing software for a strategy consulting firm. And during that job, I hired Kevin Curran, who was one of the co-founders of GCC, as a summer intern. And so I met him. And then after he left there, he and Doug McRae and a couple of others founded GCC. And then I was at a point where I wanted to leave where Strategic Planning Associates, where I was, called up Kevin and I said, "Hey, Kevin, are you hiring?" And he said, "Yes, I'm glad you called." Went in and met with him, got hired. And first day on the job, I said to Kevin, "So, you know my background, what do you want me to do?" And Kevin said, "I want you to come up with an idea for a video game, build it, and we'll all get rich." And I was like, sounds good to me. So that was my first day on the job, and that's what I did. We didn't get rich, but we went out there, or I went out there and tried, looked at different games and came up with Food Fight. No, we were completely separate from Atari and how we were organized. And we were a separate company. Basically, we were sued by Atari for Missile Command and Super Missile Attack, which was an add-on board that GCC made. When I say we, I mean Kevin and Doug, because I wasn't in the picture then, but met a very smart lawyer called Jerry Hosier. And he worked with Atari's lawyers and said, look, you don't want to sue these guys. So they came up with a development agreement. We then got paid for doing games for Atari. We ultimately did 50 games for Atari. Doug actually a few days ago sent me the names of all the games, and there were about 25 of them were 2600 cartridges. So the ones that we did included Battlezone, Centipede, Dig Dug Galaxian, Joust, Pole Position, Track and Field, Vanguard, Millipede. Anyway, Millipede didn't ship, it appears, but and so we did a lot of 2600 cartridges, 5200 cartridges, and 7800 cartridges.